Well, hello there. You are listening to Nellyville, the podcast. And I'm Black. Hello, Shello. Welcome back to another fabulous episode of Nellyville, the podcast, the place to be. welcome. Hold the applause. Just kidding. Anyways, I hope all is well. I hope you had a great holiday. I hope you got to pay your rent. You know, lots of things were happening last week. I hope you had a good little barbecue or maybe you had you a little sugar sandwich or something. Whatever it was, I hope you made the most of it. Hope everyone was safe, okay? It has been fairly decent weather. It is still raining every day, but not all day. We get lots of sun. It'll storm real bad for about an hour, and then it'll go back to normal. Lots of strange things going on with the weather. Some areas are really going through it right now. So just stay alert. Do what you can. You know, Mother Nature be out here tripping sometimes. No offense. Don't come get me. I'm just trying to warn the people. Anyway, so what are we doing today? So if you read the title, you already know. I thought it would be really fun to kind of talk about some astrology. To talk about the zodiac signs. I don't think we've ever done that on the show. If we have, it's been so long that I can't remember. Or maybe I'm just getting older. But anyways, look, I am not a professional. I'm not an astrologer. I don't study the signs and the stars in the cosmos. I don't, it's not my tea. It's not my thing. But I am a human being. I have a birthday and I have some experiences with just about all of the signs, right? So this is just going to be from my perspective, what I've experienced, what I observed, and it's just for fun. Don't take it personal, honey. Don't get bent out of shape. It's just a little one too. It never gave that deep. So with that being said, let's just jump right into it with the first sign. Let's just start with Aquarius, okay? We're just going to start from the beginning of the year. We're going to work our way down. We're not ranking signs. That's not what we're doing. This is just Nellyville's point of view on the zodiac signs, okay? Like, chill out. Aquarius. Okay, so Aquarius, the first thing that comes to mind with me, they will, and this is men and women alike. Now, should I break it down by men and women? Masculine or feminine? I'm just going to speak in general. That's a lot to remember to do man and woman for both. Maybe I don't know men and women for both. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to make this hard on myself. It never gave that deep. Anyways, Aquarius, the first thing that comes to mind for them, they will fall down into this realistic fantasy that they have created for themselves. They will create and spin a narrative that is so true, that is so real to them, that they will convince you to be passionate about some stuff that you've never even thought about. They will take you on the journey. You will believe right along with them until one day or an hour later or a year later, they're like, oh, girl, that's not my tea. Like they will just drop a narrative. Like they will spend this full, just this passion project. They will tell you about a relationship that they're in or a project that they're pursuing, a new philosophy on life. And it's like, yes, this is what, you're so passionate. How could I not be on board? And then they will just jump ship and act like they weren't just completely enthralled and invested in that thing. So pros and cons here. When they are dedicated, they are very dedicated. They fully give all of themselves to whatever it is that they believe in. But for no apparent reason, their complete mind will change out of nowhere. And then they just don't go back. It's mental gymnastics, okay? And they could be kind of emotional when the focus is on the emotion. Oh boy, they're not like that all the time, but when the waterworks start, oh my gosh. Okay, so anyways, but we like Aquarius. We live for the Aquarius. Anyways, isn't that a song? Somebody tell me in the comments. Anyways, Pisces. Okay, Pisces is probably the best sign ever. No, I'm just kidding. Of course, I'm a Pisces, so obviously everything I'm about to say is very biased, but I will say this. Let's talk about the differences between male Pisces and women Pisces. There's a difference, okay? Guy Pisces, very organized, very neat, very particular, very you're going to get one or two things. Very, very quiet, don't really say anything, or you can't get them to shut up. That's very much the male Pisces. It takes a lot for them they don't really do the emotional thing, which people always say Pisces is so emotional, so they are sensitive, but they won't talk about it. Until they talk about it, then then it's just, you have opened the floodgates. All of a sudden they are Shakespeare with the feelings and the emotions, and it is, and then they get it all out, and then they clam up for another 5 years. So that's very particular. Don't move anything in their space. Okay, they're gonna know if they have a thumbtack at specifically precisely set up at 90 degrees away from the corner edge, and you move it to 85, baby, they're gonna know. And it's going to be a thing. So, very clean. They'll keep your spaces clean, but you got to match that. If you're a messy person, it's not going to work out. Pisces women, okay? Look, they have their own systems that only make sense to them. They are organized chaos, okay? You know what? Kind of messy, not messy in a shady way, but messy in the sense of, their spaces can be messy. Or if they have everything organized, it's only usually a rhyme or rhythm that makes sense to them. They may set things up in a way that, why would you've made it harder for yourself, but it is easy for them, and you just got to go with it. Pisces, dreamers, daydream all day, engulfed in fantasy land. Okay, there is a partial detachment from reality with Pisces. Kind of similar to the Aquarius, but usually Aquarius, their fantasy is based in some kind of logic. Pisces doesn't have to be based on anything but prayers and feelings from God and the universe. We'll make up complete scenarios and live by that, and we'll just fully believe it. Okay, you got to go along with the ride. But Pisces, not only do you kind of got to go with the flow with them, they're very adaptable people, very go with the flow. They're okay with being a co-pilot. We will leave, but we don't have to. Very fine with going with the flow. Also, Pisces women, and Pisces men kind of do this too, but I've noticed it more in Pisces women. They will make choices and do things and say things based off of something they've made up in their mind. They will lie and plot and scheme. Oh, but they will do some questionable things. But how can I put this? If they in their mind feel like they're avoiding confrontation or not gonna hurt someone's feelings, if they feel like, oh, I don't want this bad thing to happen, or they don't want to share something because they think and it always is something, baby, didn't nobody give a damn about that. You jumped through 15 hoops and whistles trying to be sneaky when no one cared. You made up a scenario where everyone cared. No one gave a damn. So they're just sneaky for no reason. It's usually nothing that's like extremely malicious. It's just like, you know, get over it. The pedestal, step down. It's never gave that sense. Okay, look, I'm going on and on about the Pisces. But anyways, great people, very creative, very sensitive, very, in touch with the universe and God and spiritual. If you want a spiritual awakening type of conversation, someone's really going to listen and give you some good advice, y'all listen to the podcast, so, I'm not lying. Anyways, okay, moving right along. Aries, we love an Aries. Aries, always a good time. Usually pretty positive. They know what they want to do. They're going to execute. They don't drag ass. They know what they want to do. They're going to get it done. Really good leaders. Very nice people. Now, if you push their button, you will wish that you were never born. Okay? Do not cross these people. Okay? Because they hit hard and they hit in a way that you would never expect. Because the way they respond when they get angry is very different from their day-to-day personality, who they are. Very pleasant, very upbeat people, okay? But if you have truly rubbed them the wrong way. Now, one thing I will say about Aries, they don't go off on you for dumb reasons. It's usually like, okay, I can see why you would be mad about that and why you would react that way. But I'm just saying, you better have some thick skin if you got a Aries boss parent or something. You know what I'm saying? Just do what you're supposed to do. Okay. The Taurus, darling. I love a Taurus. Very laid back, very chill. They will get a lot done, but unless it really truly speaks to them, it's really gotta speak to them for them to really fully commit and do the thing. But when it's something that they really vibe with, they really bring something great to the table. And look, and when I'm speaking about these zodiac signs, this is just across the board, not necessarily particularly relationships or one type of relationship. I'm speaking broadly. Working relationship, friendship, parent, child, aunt, uncle. This is very general. Like I said, I'm not a professional. Okay, this is just my opinion. So that was Taurus. Oh, my little thing went away. Hold on, y'all. Let me pull up my little list. Oh, okay. Let's do this. The Gemini. Oh, God. Lord have mercy. Look, if you have a Gemini in your life, I believe there is a support group. I will attach a 1-800 number for those of you who have a Gemini in your life. I'm just kidding. But anyways, no. Definitely 2 personalities. Definitely. And it does flip like a switch, okay? A Gemini, like an Aries, will go off on you. It will make you very afraid. But because the double personality or the split personality is so on off, you're not shocked. It doesn't come out of nowhere. It doesn't like, oh my gosh, like what happened? Gemini is like 5 minutes. Y'all remember those Sour Patch commercials where the Sour Patch, look up the commercials from the early 2000s, late 90s, the Sour Patch Kids. So the little candy would come out and do something crazy, like cut the person's hair off, and then that was like their sour side, and then they would turn sweet and then like try to go hug the person. That's a Gemini. Okay? That is a Gemini. But I will say, Geminis and Pisces have a similar thing. Once they are done with you, these are 2 signs that can and will cut you off like you never existed. A Gemini will get to that place though a lot sooner. See, a Pisces will give you chance after chance. Well, the benefit of the doubt. I will forgive you 77,000 million times. and then you just don't exist anymore. A Gemini can be the same way, but baby, you got about 3 times, and then just truly, you just didn't exist. You just don't exist anymore. But Gemini is very fun, very much a life of the party. You know, they love to hype people up. They will spin a narrative to make sure everyone is having fun. That's the kind of narratives that they do. They will tell you some stuff to make you feel like, oh, I'm really all that, like that. Very fun people. Let's go on to Cancer. The Cancer dolls. Cancers don't cry at everything, but when something gets them emotional, it is the most. Look, just put some time aside. Once they get to crying, you're going to be there for a while. I'm talking 2 to 3 business days. They are going to feel that thing. But are very creative people. When they get, they're another one. When they get something that they're really passionate in, they will stick with it. They will just dive into every part of that thing. They can be kind of not obsessive, but very like it just engulfed in that thing. They're very just, I can't even say passionate. It just becomes, it can consume them. But as far as cutting people off, they kind of have a hard time letting people go. They kind of have, yeah. But a very creative, a very passionate people. So, you know, I'm not mad about it. However, I will say about a Cancer, they are also one of those, baby, they will say a shady comment and act like they're not being shady. They will be upset with you and act like they're not, but they can be a little moody. They can be shady. And is it for a reason? Sometimes, but they don't really want to be mean, but they will say some shady stuff. Okay. I'm gonna get off the Cancers. Leo. Okay, look, here's the thing. Leo women, I'm gonna be honest, they intimidate me. They're a little scary. They're a little, but hey, if you have a Leo in your life, you will always be safe. They are ready to go toe to toe with anybody at any moment. They are looking for a fight, okay? Very lion energy, okay? Now, Leo guys are not as aggressive. I think Leo guys, you really have to take them there. Leo guys are usually pretty pleasant to be around. Usually with Leo guys, what you see is what you get. They're not onions. There's not a whole lot of layers and stuff. They are who they are pretty much all of the time. And I can appreciate that. Leo women are who they are all of the time, but they just, I mean, it's a lot of aggression there. And for a Pisces that I am, it can be a little much. It can be a little much. And especially because Pisces is such a go with the flow type of person. And Leo, it is nothing but a leader. Sometimes they can truck over the Pisces. You know what I'm saying? The Pisces is already kind of passive a little bit. And then this Leo is like bossy and just, just intense all the time. Ready to whoop somebody's ass. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Let's move on to the Virgo. I like a Virgo. Now, they are another one, like the Cancer, who will very, in a slick way, will say something shady. They will say something, and you won't realize for about 5 business days that might have been a little rude. They will read you to filth in the nicest way possible. You would think, wow, what great advice, what wonderful wise words, and then you go and ponder that, and you like, wait a minute. But they are very kind, very helpful people, very thoughtful, very community mind type of people. They don't really talk much. This is for men and women. Virgo men and women, they're not huge talkers. But when they do speak, it is usually something deep and philosophical. It's usually meaningful. They're not people of many words. Unless you get them started, then they will go on. And they usually will, even though they can be shady with the stuff that they say, they usually will say something that will stick with you for years. They just have every Virgo I've ever met has always had just a very particular way with words. But they can have a little bite to them. And it bites more when they say things like if you get on their bad side, or if you upset them, because they're usually not one for a lot of words, and usually what they say is uplifting in one way or another. When they do snap on you, it makes it that much more shocking. So do not be fooled. Do not take Virgo's kindness as a weakness, because if you want to endure a tongue lashing, yeah, don't do it. Don't nobody be cross to nobody. But I'm just saying, the Virgo has a way to make you feel very small, or they can lift you up to the sky. I'm just throwing it out there as a warning. No Sade. Next up, we have the Libra, darling, the scales, the sign of balance. Let me tell you something about a Libra, okay? Also another good time sign. Going to be the life of the party. Going to just be they're going to be the little ball of sunshine in every room. This is true. Everyone loves a Libra. Everyone loves a Gemini, but just the Libra is always the best friend, the party planner, the hey guys, let's do it. Very that. On the downside, while the Libra might be the party planner and to get everyone together, it will take them 10 business days to decide where we are going, what we are doing. A Libra is great with planning or executing things when you tell them or specifically what to do. But if they have to make a decision, oh my gosh, it is like they are fighting with. It's like they are just in a battle in their brain to make a decision. It's like, goddamn, do you want Captain Crunch or French toast? It's not. They're like, well, if I eat the Captain Crunch, my mouth is gonna hurt. I don't know. The French toast makes me feel happy. I don't know. What are you guys gonna get? Just pick one. Please, just pick one. But I will say, if it's a big decision, you value someone like a Libra because they are gonna weigh out the pros and cons. They are going to look at it from all angles 3 times. They are going to weigh the spiritual meanings, okay? They're going to look at the logistics. They're going to pray about it. They're going to journal about it. They're going to consult 3 professionals. They're going to ask at least 2 family members, and they're going to sit with themselves, and guess what? They're going to pick the thing that wasn't even an option. So anyways, what else again? Oh, it was something else I wanted to say about the Libras. Oh, Libras. Okay, look, I'm sorry. But could you please take a page from the Leos will do this. Take a page from the Gemini and a couple of these other signs. Cut people off, okay? Be like the Aries and cuss these people out and leave them for dust, okay? Every Libra that I've ever met loyalty is great. If you wanna ride or die, get you a Libra. Libras are ride or die. They just are. It's thick and thin, good or bad, ugly, pretty. A Libra is going to be there, but it is, but to your detriment. These Libras will stick around. I mean, my God. Eventually they'll get there. But you think Pisces take a long time to cut somebody off. A Libra, but it's that need of harmony and peace and joy. So, a double-edged sword. You know what I mean? But we love a Libra. They get along great with Pisces. Very, but now you put a Libra and a Pisces in a room, baby, fantasy land. Fantasies. Everyone's in a fantasy. Engulfed. Just in a bubble of unicorns and bubble gum. It's just, yeah. If you have kids that are Pisces and Libra, check on them. They are probably often in La La Land. Bring them back. Bring them back. Okay. Let's move on to the Scorpio, darling. Scorpio's pretty fun. Very an adventurous people. They like adventures. They like to kind of do stuff at the spur of the moment. They can be sneaky. They can be a sneaky people. And usually when they're acting and being sneaky, they're really doing something sneaky. It's not the same as like some of these other signs that are kind of act peculiar or, kind of shady or something. The Scorpios, I'm sorry. They can be sneaky. They're also a fun people. But look, I don't have a whole lot of experience with the Scorpio. Some of these I don't have a whole lot of experience with. I'm going off of this based off of like one or two people that I've ever met in my life. But I've never had any like major issues with the Scorpio. I've always usually had a pretty good time. They're usually pretty funny. They're good conversationalists as long as they kind of share your same interests. They're not gonna bend over backwards to kind of have an interest. But if y'all share interests, they will kiki. They will kiki. Let's move on to the Sagittarius. Baby, this is the one. Libras, find you a Sagittarius because a Sagittarius will cut someone off mid-conversation for no reason. For no reason. They will just walk away. They will disappear and go incognito for no one did anything. No one did anything. They're not mad. They're not anything. They just go off into their own little world and could be gone for 3 months and then will pop back up like they didn't just disappear. That is the Sagittarius. They are not for a small talk. They are not for banter and pleasantries. That's not their gig. Okay? Now, they are very funny. Sagittarius can be very funny. They can carry on a great conversation, but only genuine. You're only ever going to get genuine conversation as Sagittarius. So if you work with Sagittarius or you have kids or friends or whatever, notice that, they can either be very high and by, or they will sit there and talk with you for 3 hours. But it's always going to be genuine. It's never going to be forced. And if they're not feeling it, they will Irish goodbye out of a party. They'll be like, damn, where'd they go? Are they here? I thought so-and-so was there. Where'd they go? Sagittarius will just disappear. And I think that is great for mental health. Everybody else gets caught up on, I don't want people to think I'm rude. I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. Baby, a damn Sagittarius, please, good luck. You trying to drag them to somewhere they don't want to go, baby, it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. And they are another one that, because, they only speak from a place of truth and realness. They are another one who will slice you down with some words. And it will be so shocking same as the Virgo, because they are usually a very pleasant, nice people, and they're usually quiet, and they always usually have very constructive things that add to the conversation. But baby, they got a switch. Now, it doesn't flip-flop like the Gemini, but if you turn the switch on, you're really going to wish you knew how to shut that down. So, tiptoe with the Sagittarius. But just know, if they have befriended you, it is a genuine, a very meaningful relationship to them. They don't just go out making friends with everybody. And if they disappear on your ass, like, you just have to, it's not personal. They don't have the social battery of a Libra or a Scorpio or a Gemini. They don't have that social battery. And they're not interested. And they don't really give a damn how you feel about it. But also, they're also good for planning too. Now, they will make a final, they will contemplate on something, but usually they're pretty quick about making a decision, making a plan, and executing, and really they're good at delegating and making sure, okay, this is what needs to get done. You. They can be pretty organized. And they'll get it done for you. You might not talk to them for 6 months after that, but they're thinking of you. They are. So, don't take it personal. Last but not least, we have the Capricorn, darling. Capricorn. You know what, guys? I'm glad Capricorn was last because, no offense, but I don't have a whole lot of experience with the Capricorn. From just a little bit that I can pull from, the Capricorns, they are they're usually pretty chill people. I don't know of any Capricorns that are like real hype. They're usually pretty calm. I don't know if stoic is the word. Well, look, I will say I don't have any bad experiences with them. So I'm guessing they are those that just kind of mind their business and just kind of engulf in the things that speak to them. And I think that that's perfectly okay. I don't ever hear people say, oh, those Capricorns, gosh, can't stand them. I don't ever hear that about them. So Capricorns, y'all must really be out here minding your business, paying your bills, drinking your water, and not bothering nobody. Because I don't hear nothing negative about y'all. I hear something negative about pretty much everyone else. But I don't hear anything. Chime in the comment section down below. Let me know something good. Do y'all hear anything negative about the lovely Capricorn? What are some traits? I feel bad. I'm so sorry. Let's for the Capricorn, because I couldn't really go in for them, but I'm just word salading them. Let's just talk about them a little bit. Okay, so their strengths: they're responsible, disciplined, self-control, good manners. See, now, isn't that what I just said? And the ones that I can think of, they're just not wild. They're very like straight and narrow, kind of militant, very, this is what the rules say. I'm going to stick to the rules, and that's perfectly okay. They're not out here jumping out of airplanes and out at the clubs. They're good with the straight and narrow, the weaknesses: know it all, unforgiving, condescending, expecting the worst. Well, let's talk about it. Now that I think about it, yeah, but you know what? Know it all, because of their strengths of being disciplined. They usually do have receipts to back up their stuff. Are they know-it-alls because they're pretending, or do they just kind of really know it all? And then being unforgiving, is that a bad thing? I don't know. Okay, Capricorn, I'm about to seek some of y'all out. The Capricorn likes family, tradition, music, understated status, quality craftsmanship. Okay, work. Oh, okay. So Capricorns, I, have an Etsy. So if you like quality craftsmanship, I'm just saying. And the Capricorn dislikes almost everything at some point. Okay, work. Love that. So, okay, y'all out here drinking a lot of money on business. I ain't mad. So, look, that's my general view of all of the signs. Tell me if I'm spot on. Tell me if you have different experiences with different signs. I do believe that, look, I think there's a little bit of truth to this, but it's mostly just fun. I think that you can find different, I don't think one sign, just because you're born at a certain time, means that everyone has the exact same. Obviously, the way that you grow up, the people that you're around, your life experiences are going to, and then there's genetics. That all of that is going to create different characteristics within you that may or may not align with your zodiac. But I do find that a lot of times these things are pretty accurate, and some people really, even if they're not into astrology, because one might argue, well, if you read about it and it says is what you are, then that's what you're going to aim to try to portray. But even people who are not into zodiac and don't know anything about their astrological sign and all of that, they still exhibit and exude traits from the sign that they are assigned. So I think that there is a little bit of truth to it, but obviously it's a spectrum. And then people who are born on like cusps tend to have traits of, both signs that they fall between. I think that it's fun. I think it's worth, engaging in it, if nothing else, to pass the time. And I think that different signs bring out different traits in different people, just like different personalities, complement different personalities. But anyways, this was really fun. Everyone has positive and negative traits. Baby, don't feel dragged, okay? This was just for entertainment, okay? But anyways, thank you guys so much for listening, and I will catch you in the next video. Oh, also, by the way, got a coloring book out, okay? So if you want to click the little link in the link tree, it's on Amazon. Anyways, you will find it. And yeah, thank you to everyone who's already made a purchase. And I will talk to you guys next week. Bye!